Southwest Charlotte. Medic tells us one person was taken to the hospital with life-threatening injuries. The other shooting happened on Wildwood Avenue. That's in Northwest Charlotte. Another person is also in the hospital with life-threatening injuries. Right now, we are reaching out to police to find out what led up to these shootings. Thank you for joining us for the news at 6 o'clock. I'm Nick Sturdivant. As we speak, a nationwide manhunt is underway for a man accused of shooting and killing an off-duty corrections officer last night. It happened at a gas station in Jacksonville, Florida, but we're told the man's car has North Carolina plates. Police say Officer Brad McNew approached the man after watching him throw a woman who was with him onto the ground. That's when the man pointed the gun at McNew and shot him while driving away with the woman.
This one, of course, was senseless violence against a man that was just, trying to do his duty and make sure that the individual that was being assaulted was safe. And unfortunately, this is what happened in this situation.
And the North Carolina license plate reads RHL4285. You saw it right there on your screen. If you know the suspect or see his 2000 black Mustang, call 911 immediately. Well, tonight, parents of kids who attended Trails Carolina in Transylvania County are filing a lawsuit against the camp, saying the owners misled them about the true nature of the program. This comes after a child was smothered at the North Carolina Wilderness Camp. The 12-year-old boy was found dead at Trails Carolina Camp back on February 3rd, and in June, the death was ruled a homicide. The state also revoked the facility's license, saying it failed to comply with state regulations. Now let's get a check in on the forecast. You're taking a live look at Charlotte Motor Speedway. It's going to be a busy day tomorrow with Roval tomorrow and the Carolina Panthers at home against the Atlanta Falcons. Let's bring in meteorologist Brittany Van Voorhees. And Brittany, will the weather hold up for Charlotte sports fans tomorrow?
It will. It will actually be a fantastic day across the area. Colder in the mountains, though, as we look at the next 5 days. If we can switch to our Weather One computer there, you'll be able to see that once again live picture there of Charlotte Motor Speedway. Temperatures are in the 70s right now and have been in the 70s really for the majority of the day. Dew point, though, nice and dry, still sitting in the 40s. Now, as we look ahead, of course, to the next few days, we are going to be looking at those cooler temperatures. Right now, we have the 70s, 40s, though, as we enter the overnight hours, and then lower 60s heading into the morning on Monday before another big cool down is going to come into the Charlotte area. Now, as we look at satellite and radar, we know that high pressure overhead is keeping things relatively calm and clear over the next few days. But as we shift a little bit further to the south and west, that is going to bring in areas of warmer conditions. And that's why today we reached the upper 70s. And that's why tomorrow temperatures will get into the lower 80s across most of the area. Now, that's pretty much the next 48 hours here. Is the only change we have is the fact that the afternoon temperatures will be warmer, upper 40s tonight. So still dropping below 50 degrees, just not quite as cold as we have been. Last 2 mornings, we've actually had temperatures 46 and 45 respectively. So again, chilly, just not quite as cold there. In the mountains, because of a few clouds building in ahead of our next cold front, those areas also will not be quite as chilly. So good news, of course, for those folks up in the mountains. Your Roval 400 forecast at Charlotte Motor Speedway tomorrow. Again, the weather is going to be fantastic. We'll be in the 50s right around 9 o'clock as folks are getting out and about, trying to tailgate. Depending on how early you get there, of course, just know there will be a ton of traffic. I've been to the Roval a few times. So much fun, so worth it, but lots of traffic around Concord. You can see temperatures in the afternoon reach the 70s to near 80. So just be mindful of the fact that in the direct sunshine, as temperatures reach the 80s, even though we're into the fall season, it will still be pretty warm and humid out there. In the tropics, I wanted to give an update here. If you were with us last night, it's essentially the same exact update I gave you yesterday. We are not going to see any kind of tropical activity impacting us here in the Carolinas over the next week and a half. Nothing to track as of now other than a little tropical wave that is thousands and thousands of miles away from us. Right now, it has a low chance of development. Still trying to keep on trucking as it moves westward. But again, that has just emerged off the coast of Africa just a few days ago. In your Guy Roofing 7-day forecast, you're going to notice again the warm up heading especially through the day tomorrow. As the front that brings us the cooler air heading into next week moves through, this will kick up some breezy conditions. Just be mindful of that. And of course, that will bring us eventually that cooler air by the middle of the week. Nick, I know you said you've been liking the fall, but this might be even a little bit too chilly for you. We'll be looking at temperatures falling, lows at night into the lower 40s and even a few mornings in the upper 30s by this time next week.
All right, thank you for that, Brittany. Well, tonight, as relief efforts from Hurricane Helene continue, the devastating loss lingers on those recovering. We're getting new numbers for the death toll in Western North Carolina. We now know at least 4 students from Buncombe County schools are dead tonight, and there are 21 other students the district is still trying to contact. Just hours ago, school officials say extracurricular activities will start back up again on Monday, but schools will remain closed indefinitely. Well, Hurricane Helene left more than 1 million South Carolinians in the dark, with many families having to throw away food. And for those who use SNAP benefits in order to get reimbursed, you have to submit paperwork to DSS. But right now, if you live in one of the 28 counties that are eligible, you will automatically get 55% of your September benefits back by Tuesday.
That means that there will be no documentation that will be required. That means there will not be a letter required from your power company or your electric utility saying that you experienced an outage.
Conley Ann Ragley is with the Department of Social Services. She says without the mass replacement, to get your SNAP benefits replaced, everyone would have to fill out the application.
A SNAP household would have to complete an affidavit of loss saying that they lost their food or their items in their home, and that they would also have to obtain an individual letter from their utility provider. So if we have 277,000 households in South Carolina that receive SNAP during the month of September, that's a potential of 277,000 individual letters that would have to be generated by local utility providers.
DSS says for a county to be eligible for mass replacements, 50% of the population in the entire county had to have experienced a power outage of at least 4 hours. If you are not from a county that is eligible for mass replacement, you can still apply for the individual SNAP reimbursement using the online form. Only people who were eligible for SNAP in the month of September can get replacement benefits. But Tiana Suber from FEMA says for those with immediate needs after the storm, you can apply for serious needs assistance online or at their hotline.
When you answer those questions, you could qualify for the $750 serious needs grants that you can receive to help you get started. Things that you need right now, right? Immediately, like emergency needs.
And again, for people in counties that did qualify for the mass replacement, you can expect to see your SNAP benefits back on your EBT card by Tuesday. Well, today in Pineville, support was in full force for Western North Carolina as 500,000 meals were packed to help those impacted by Helene. WCNC Charlotte's Miles Harris gives us a closer look.
Organizations within Charlotte are answering that call to action in relief efforts by gathering thousands of volunteers to send not just food, but support to the people in the high country. Each cowbell ring, a sign for high spirits.
Go up there, we want to do whatever we can to serve them and help them recover.
Those spirits are being packed with every meal.
We've got to get there and we've got to help these families.
500,000 meals being put together by more than 2,000 volunteers. With help from the group No Child Hungry and Queen City Audio, Video, and Appliances.
This effort really is all about community.
Making it their mission to serve those in need in the high country.
We've got deliveries scheduled. Queen City's donating trucks and they're running routes. And we're going to take these in as needed.
For me and our group to take a couple hours out of our day and put these kits together, that's the least we can do.
JC brought over 50 volunteers to take part in the event, making a difference with each meal.
We absolutely are changing lives.
In Pineville, Miles Harris, WCNC Charlotte.
And a big need we're hearing more about lately is warm clothes and other items for cold weather. Sleeping bags, coats, hats, gloves, and socks are all important. We hope you'll join us in sharing the warmth. We've created an Amazon wish list, the QR code right there at the bottom of your screen, and you can scan it right now. The donations will come here to WCNC Charlotte, and then we will bring them to nonprofits in Western North Carolina, including the Boone Area Chamber of Commerce and Feeding Avery Families. There are only a few days left in this drive, and the need is urgent as the weather gets cooler in the mountains. So your donation will make a huge difference. Well, today, the Charlotte Hornets getting fans excited for the upcoming season with their annual Purple and Teal Day. Fans got a chance to meet current players as well as legends like Muggsy Bogues, Dale Curry, and beloved mascot Hugo, all while catching some merch and playing games. It comes just 2 weeks before the first game, home game rather, against Miami. And right now, we're just a day away from the Bank of America Roval 400. It's the annual changing of the traditional 4-turn oval into a half oval and half road course, hence the name Roval. 17 turns and 109 laps. It's the last race for future Hall of Famer Martin Truex Jr. And we're told J.D. Vance is expected to be there. Make sure to join us tomorrow at 2 p.m. for live race coverage. And ahead of the green flag, you can get up to speed with the Roval. The Road to the Roval special is streaming tonight on WCNC Plus. Sports director Nick Carboni breaks down the big change on the course, a look at the past Roval winners, and a one-on-one interview with a playoff driver hoping to get to victory lane. We're also hearing from a NASCAR broadcast legend just days before his last race. You don't want to miss it. And Brittany, as you said, it's going to be a beautiful day out there.
Yes, probably a little bit on the warm side.
Yeah.
The temperature is in the 80s, so just make sure you're staying hydrated, especially if you're partaking in certain activities tomorrow, whether it's the Roval 400 or, of course, the Panthers at home against the Falcons.
We got to get a win tomorrow, Panthers. You got to get a win. That's what I'm concerned about. All right, thank you for watching. We'll see you back here at 11 o'clock.